Hi students, this is Botany PSR. In the previous class, I explained about prokaryotic cells. Today, I want to explain eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells, that is EU. U means true, karyo means nucleus, that is true nucleus cells, true nucleus organisms. So according to Whittaker, all the organisms are divided into 5 kingdoms: Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. All monerans are prokaryotes, isn't it? Or all prokaryotes are monerans, or all monerans are prokaryotes. Both the statements are correct. Those prokaryotes are smaller in size, they divide more rapidly when compared to eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells are smaller in size than eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells divide more rapidly than eukaryotic cells. Next, eukaryotic cells. What does it mean, eukaryotic cells? U means true, karyo means nucleus. True nucleus is found. True nucleus is present. What are the kingdoms? Except Monera, that is Protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. So that is number of eukaryotic kingdoms means 4. Of these, Protista is unicellular eukaryote, remaining all are multicellular eukaryotes. So look at here, eukaryotic cells include 4 kingdoms. What are those 4 kingdoms? Protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. This Protista is unicellular eukaryotes. How many kingdoms? 1. These 3 are multicellular eukaryotic kingdoms. How many are there? 3. Ratio between unicellular eukaryotic kingdoms and multicellular eukaryotic kingdoms means 1:3. Okay. Next, what are the characteristics of eukaryotic cells? That is, true nucleus is present. True nucleus means nuclear envelope. Inside that nucleus, spherical, round shaped nucleolus is present. That is so called, that is well organized, well distinct or true nucleus. So true nucleus, also called organized nucleus, also called well defined nucleus is present. That is nuclear envelope and nucleolus are present. Inside that cell, membrane bound cell organelles are present, whereas those membrane bound cell organelles are absent in prokaryotic cell. Very, very important point. So membrane bound cell organelles are present in eukaryotes, absent in prokaryotes. And complex locomotor and cytoskeletal structures are present. Complex locomotory and cytoskeletal structures are present. What does it mean, cytoskeleton? Cytoskeleton includes 3 parts: microtubules, microfilaments and intermediate filaments. Cytoskeleton includes microtubules, microfilaments and intermediate filaments. These 3 parts are called cytoskeleton or cytoskeleton structures, which are present in the cytoplasm of eukaryotic cell, not in prokaryotic cell. Next, all eukaryotic cells are not identical. We have to say not identical. How can you say all eukaryotic cells are not identical? That is, plant cells and animal cells are different. How can you say plant and animal cells are different? In plant cells, cell wall is present. That cell wall is absent in animal cells. Plastids are found in plant cells, not in animal cells. Plant cells contain large central vacuole. That one is absent in animal cells. So plant cells and animal cells. That is cell wall, plastids, large central vacuole. These three are present in plant cell, absent in animal cell. Next one, centrioles are absent in plant cell. These are found only in animal cells. That is, centrioles are useful for cell division in animal cells. Don't say plant cells. And ribosomes are found both in plant cells and animal cells. Okay? Now look at here, my dear students. Now I am going to explain cell membrane, shortly as CM. Cell membrane also called plasma membrane. Cell membrane also called plasma membrane. That cell membrane is a living layer or non-living layer. Cell membrane should be considered as living layer. Cell membrane is a living layer. The outermost layer in animal cell is cell membrane. Outermost layer in plant cell is cell wall. In plant cell, below the cell wall, cell membrane is present. What is the difference between cell wall and cell membrane? Cell wall is a non-living layer. Cell membrane is a living layer, both in plant cells and animal cells. So the outermost layer in animal cell is cell membrane. Outermost layer in plant cell is cell wall. Outermost living layer in plant cell is cell membrane, we have to say. Why? Because cell wall is a non-living layer, cell membrane is a living layer. See, the outermost layer in animal cell is cell membrane. The outermost living layer in plant cell is cell membrane. Don't say cell wall. Okay? The detailed structure of cell membrane can be understood with the help of electron microscope. So that is, the detailed structure of cell membrane or plasma membrane can be well understood with the help of a microscope called electron microscope. Don't say compound microscope. That electron microscope was invented by Knoll and Ruska. This electron microscope invented by Knoll and Ruska. Next, this cell membrane acts as selectively permeable membrane. Selectively means it allows solvents and some selected solutes. That's why the cell membrane acts as selectively permeable membrane. In the question, cell membrane acts as selectively permeable, semi-permeable, like that. If options are there, means you have to choose selectively permeable membrane. If selectively permeable membrane is not there, means then you have to go to cell membrane. Okay? So cell wall is a permeable membrane. Cell wall is a permeable membrane. Cell membrane is a semi-permeable or selectively permeable membrane. Cell membrane is a most appropriate word is selectively permeable membrane when compared to cell membrane. Semi-permeable. So semi-permeable means, what is semi-permeable membrane? It allows only solvents, no solutes. That is so called semi-permeable membrane. Selectively permeable membrane means it allows solvents on some selected solutes. That's why it is so called selectively permeable membrane. So if cell membrane acts as means selectively permeable membrane, semi-permeable membrane, both options are there, means you have to prefer selectively permeable membrane rather than semi-permeable membrane. Okay? The cell membrane structure can be best explained by seeing the cell membrane of human RBC, that is human erythrocytes. That is, structure of cell membrane can be best studied in cell membrane of human RBC. RBC means red blood cells, that is human erythrocytes. Cell membrane structure can be well studied, best studied in cell membrane of human RBC. Very, very important point. Okay, right. This cell membrane structure can be explained in different models. Of those models, the best model to explain cell membrane structure is fluid mosaic model, shortly writing as FMM, fluid mosaic model. So the widely accepted model or mostly accepted model to explain cell membrane is, to explain the structure of cell membrane is fluid mosaic model. This fluid mosaic model was proposed by Singer and Nicholson. So fluid mosaic model was proposed by Singer and Nicholson. Widely accepted model to explain the structure of cell membrane is fluid mosaic model. Very, very important point. There are different models or theories to explain the structure of cell membrane. Of those theories, widely accepted model or most accepted model to explain the structure of cell membrane is fluid mosaic model, proposed by Singer and Nicholson. Who are the scientists? Singer and Nicholson. Next, cell membrane is made up of lipids and proteins, together called lipoproteins. Cell membrane in eukaryotic cells is made up of lipids and proteins, lipoproteins. Whereas in prokaryotic cells also, cell membrane is made up of lipids and proteins, lipoproteins. So that is the eukaryotic nature found in prokaryotic cell is chemical composition of cell membrane, because the cell membrane of both prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells are made up of lipids and proteins, that is lipoproteinaceous membrane. Cell membrane is a lipoproteinaceous membrane. Very, very important point. So both prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells, cell membrane is made up of lipids and proteins. Right. Cell membrane is made up of lipids and proteins, that is lipoproteins. Right. Cell membrane is made up of, what are the composition? Lipids 40%, proteins 52%. Other components are also there: glycolipids, carbohydrates like sugars, and cholesterol. Other components of these most highest component in cell membrane is proteins. Second highest is lipids. Highest component in cell membrane is proteins. Second highest is lipids. Composition means, what is the highest component? Proteins 52%, lipids 40%, isn't it? Other components like glycolipids, carbohydrates like sugars, these sugars are oligosaccharides. Oligo means few monosaccharides. Next, cholesterol also present. Okay. So what are the chemical composition of cell membrane means? Lipids, proteins, glycolipids, carbohydrates like sugars, and cholesterol also present. These are the different components found in cell membrane. Now look at the diagram of cell membrane. This is the cell membrane. Okay. So this is lipid, this is also lipid layer. So this is lipid one layer, this is lipid second layer. This is one layer lipid, another layer lipid. So overall lipids are arranged in how many layers? 2 layers. This is one layer, this is another layer. So lipids are arranged in how many layers? 2 layers. Lipids, arrangement of lipids is bilayered lipid. This bilayered lipid contains, this part is so called head, this part is so called tail. So it is faced towards outer side now. So that is polar polar head towards outer side, polar head towards outer side. This is non-polar, non-polar tail towards inner side. So polar head towards outer side, non-polar tail towards inner side. And then which is hydrophilic and which is hydrophobic? This head is present towards outer side means here let us suppose this is the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm means water content is present. As the head is present towards cytoplasm, it cannot destroy to water. Head will not destroy to the aqueous environment, isn't it? So that is, head is hydrophilic. Hydro means water, phile means love. So head is hydrophilic. Though it is present towards water, it will not be damaged. So it is so called hydrophilic. Why the tail is present towards inner side? Tail contains saturated hydrocarbons. If tail is present towards this side means towards aqueous environments, saturated hydrocarbons will be destroyed. That's why tail is present towards inner side, head is present towards outer side. That is very, very important point. If the diagram is sometimes like this, they also give. See, here this is head, this is tail. Here this is head, this is tail. Head is here, head okay. This part is correct. But here head is present towards inner side now, so this is wrong. And similar in the case of like this also they will give arrow mark. See, this will be considered as head, this will be considered as tail. Head, tail. So this diagram is wrong. This diagram is wrong. Like that in the diagrammatic representation also we have to learn. So head is present towards outer side, tail is present towards inner side. Which one is hydrophilic? Head is hydrophilic, tail is hydrophobic. Hydro means water, phobic means hate, philic means love. Those points you have to understand. Okay, right. This is the tail part. Tail is hydrophobic. This is the head part, hydrophilic. So lipids are arranged in how many layers? Bilayered lipid. And here are the parts. This is nothing but cholesterol. This part is so called glycolipids. This part is so called sugars. Sugars are nothing but oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides means few monosaccharides. Here there are two types of proteins. This one is peripheral protein. This one is integral protein. So how many types of proteins are there? That is two types of proteins. Peripheral proteins and integral proteins. The proteins which are present on the surface of cell membrane are called peripheral proteins, which are partly or completely present in the cell membrane, which are partly buried in the cell membrane or completely buried in the cell membrane. Those are so called integral proteins, also called intrinsic proteins. Integral proteins also called intrinsic proteins. Peripheral proteins also called extrinsic proteins, which are easily separated. These are on the present on the surface of cell membrane. No? These can be loosely attached, loosely associated, and these can be easily separated. These are tightly associated and cannot be easily separated. So which proteins are easily separated? Peripheral proteins. Why? Because these are present on the surface of cell membrane. Which cannot be easily separated means this integral or intrinsic proteins. Okay. So based on chemical composition of cell membrane, what is the highest component? Proteins. How much? 52%. Second highest, lipids. Least means carbohydrates. The highest and the least components. Highest means proteins. Least component means you have to write carbohydrates. Don't write lipids. Okay. The first highest component and least component. That means highest component means proteins. Least component means carbohydrates. The two highest components means proteins and then lipids. First highest proteins. How much? 52%. Second highest lipids. How much? 40%. That one you have to remember. Next, how the nature of lipids would be. The nature of lipids in fluid mosaic model is quasi-fluid. Quasi-fluid means semi-fluid. The nature of lipids. How the nature of lipids? That is, it is quasi-fluid. Quasi-fluid means semi-fluid in nature. The nature of lipids in fluid mosaic model is quasi-fluid. Right. Lipids arranged in bilayer. Lipids are arranged in bilayer. So called bilayered lipid. These lipids belong to what type of lipids? Phospholipids. What type of lipids? Phospholipids. Next, the lipid component of cell membrane mainly consists of phosphoglycerides. Try to remember these two points, my dear students. These lipids belong to which type means? Phospholipids. The lipid component of cell membrane mainly consists of, we have to write phosphoglycerides. Phosphoglycerides. Next, polar hydrophilic head. Polar, don't say non-polar. Polar hydrophilic head towards outer side. Non-polar hydrophobic tail towards inner side. Why? Because this type of arrangement, because non-polar tail of saturated hydrocarbons is protected from aqueous environment. Here aqueous environment means cytoplasm contains water. So polar hydrophilic head. Head is polar or non-polar? Polar. Head is hydrophilic or hydrophobic? Hydrophilic. Those points you have to remember. Tail is non-polar or polar? Non-polar. Tail is hydrophilic or hydrophobic? Hydrophobic. Why the tail is present towards inner side means tail of saturated hydrocarbons is protected from aqueous environment. That's why the tail is always present towards inner side. Okay? And now proteins. Proteins are of two types. Integral or intrinsic proteins, which are partially or completely present or buried in cell membrane. These are tightly associated and cannot be easily separated. Peripheral proteins, also called extrinsic proteins. These are present on the surface of cell membrane. These are loosely attached and can be easily separated. So, some molecules will not move from outer to inner or inner to outer. Those molecules should be facilitated to cross the cell membrane. So, polar molecules cannot pass through the bilayer lipids. Polar, that is non-polar, polar molecules cannot pass through the non-polar lipid bilayer. Why? Because polar molecules require a carrier protein of cell membrane to facilitate their transport across the cell membrane. So, polar molecules cannot pass through non-polar lipid bilayer. Why? Because these polar molecules require a carrier protein to facilitate their transport across the cell membrane. So, to cross the cell membrane means polar molecules cannot be transported. So, those polar molecules can be transported means they require a carrier protein. Polar molecules require a carrier protein to facilitate their transport across the cell membrane. Why? Because means polar molecules cannot pass through the bilayer lipid layer. Okay? And in the diagrammatic representation, See, this one is correct or wrong diagram. Let us suppose this is the head, this is the tail. Tail head. Head is present towards outer side. Tail is present towards inner side. So this diagram is correct. Let us suppose like this. If this is the diagram, this is the head part, this is the tail part. Here tail is, this is okay, correct. Head is present towards outer side. Here tail is present towards outer side. So tail should be inner side. So this diagram is wrong. Like that they will ask in the diagrammatic representation of cell membrane. So please note down all these points, my dear students. Diagram zoom. Sir, this I will rub. Now look at here, my dear students. Functions of cell membrane or plasma membrane. Transport of molecules into the cell or out of the cell. This is the most important function of cell membrane. What is the most important function of cell membrane means? Transport of molecules into or out of the cells. It is the most important function of cell membrane. Next, it also helps in cell growth. It forms, it helps in the formation of intercellular junctions. What do you call the intercellular junctions means? Plasmodesmata. Intercellular means between the two cells some junctions are there. Those are so called plasmodesmata. So cell membrane helps in the formation of plasmodesmata. It also helps in secretion. It also helps in endocytosis. Endo means into. So taking. So if intake of liquid particles is called pinocytosis, intake of solid particles is called phagocytosis. Cell membrane will take either the liquid particles or the solid particles. Okay. So intake of liquid particles, taking of liquid particles is called pinocytosis. Intake of solid particles is called phagocytosis. So that is taking liquid or solid particles is so called endocytosis. It also helps in cell division. These are all the different functions of cell membrane. Of these functions, what are the most important function of cell membrane means? Transport of molecules into or out of the cells. This is the most important function of cell membrane. Okay. Now this transport of molecule is called transport of molecules may be of two types: passive transport and active transport. Okay. So if molecules move from high concentration to low concentration, that is so called active transport. So whereas in active transport means low concentration to high concentration movement of molecules will occur. Next, from high concentration to low concentration means it should be called along the concentration gradient or down the concentration gradient or on the concentration gradient. High concentration to low concentration means down the concentration gradient, along the concentration gradient or on the concentration gradient. And here ATP is not required or metabolic energy is not required, and it's shown by most of the ions and most of the molecules. Example means diffusion, that is neutral molecules movement or neutral solutes movement. Osmosis. In osmosis, what type of molecules will move? Only have to say water molecules. In osmosis, water molecules movement. So both diffusion and osmosis are the process come under passive transport. Whereas in active transport, movement of molecules occur from low concentration to high concentration. Low concentration to high concentration. That will be recorded as against concentration gradient. Against concentration gradient, and ATP or metabolic energy is required, and few ions are few molecules, shown by few ions and few molecules. Examples means Na plus pump, K plus pump, Na plus pump and K plus pump. This can be in the diagrammatic representation. This would be the cell membrane. This would be the cell membrane. Many molecules move from high concentration to low concentration. It will be considered as passive transport. And neutral solutes also move from high concentration to low concentration. Neutral solutes movement is so called diffusion. Okay. Next, water molecules also move from its high concentration of water molecules to low concentration of water molecules. So this process is so called osmosis. Movement of water molecules from its high concentration of water to low concentration of water. So that will be considered as osmosis. In osmosis, only the movement of water molecules occur. Don't say solute molecules. So high concentration to low concentration means passive transport. Passive transport means according to the concentration, high concentration to low concentration. According to gradient means along the concentration gradient or down the concentration gradient or on the concentration gradient. Is there any ATP required? No. In passive transport, ATP is not required. Whereas in few ions and few molecules like sodium and potassium, those molecules will move from low concentration to high concentration. That type of transport is so called active transport. It occurs against the concentration gradient. Against means low to high. That is so called against concentration gradient. Examples means sodium pump, potassium pump. Okay? And metabolic energy not required. Metabolic energy in active transport, metabolic energy is required. Whereas in passive transport, metabolic energy not required. Movement of molecules from high concentration to low concentration means passive transport. In passive transport, metabolic energy not required. Whereas in active transport, metabolic energy is required. So please note down all these points, my dear students. Cell membrane is very, very important. So please note down all these points and we will meet in the next class.